Welcome to All Things Social Security. My name is Stephanie Joy of Joy Disability. I am a Social Security disability attorney, and I would like to invite you to watch our daily video tips on the Social Security disability and SSI claims process each day at the new time of noon Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube on this channel. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A live stream. So you are welcome to join that as well. Ask your questions, get there on time, and you'll be one of the first answered. Thanks so much and have a great day. Enjoy the video. Good morning. Happy Sunday. It is Social Security Roundup Day. So let's just go over what videos came out on all things Social Security last week. This would be the week of July 28th. That would be Monday to yesterday, August 2nd. We're in August. School's starting up again soon. It's crazy. Okay, so on the 20th was, this was kind of fun. A share provided by the Social Security Administration giving numbers, and I'm a numbers girl, so I always like it when they give numbers. The numbers concern the SSA's interim report card, as we call it, on claims handling and customer service goals and where they are at. It was very favorable. So thus far, coming from a bad place, 2025 at least seems to be heading in the right direction. How long it will take, nobody knows. Okay, on Tuesday, July 29th, we had a little tip about getting your SSA file after you've been awarded your disability, which also would apply for sure if you get denied. I would also get the SSA file folder. And that is whether or not you plan on filing another claim or not. You don't know what's going to happen down the road, and it is really good to have that information in hand more often than I can tell you. So take a look-see there. I think we go into that a little bit. And then on July 30th, this was a grid application share, and it was having to do with the age category change we sometimes go through. And when you can get an older grid application than your actual age at the moment, there's a few details in there that might be helpful for some people who are maybe not so far away from an age category change because the rules do change. And then we have the 31st. This was, so Wednesday the 30th, when we did the older grid thing, that was the 12 o'clock daily. Then we had our 1 o'clock p.m. live Q&A. That's on this channel every week. You are all welcome to join. I'd love to see you. Ask your questions or just listen in and hang out. It's a real friendly crowd. And then Thursday, we had the replay. That's kind of posted in there normally as our, if we can get it done by 12 for the next day's 12. It's a replay with all of the silences from scrolling, looking for the second part to a question or referring back to someone's earlier part of their question. So all those little silences get kind of spliced out of there by some software to make it a little shorter version, because on a replay, nobody wants to listen to that. But you're all welcome to hopefully join the next one, which is next Wednesday at 1 p.m. And I will say that on Thursday, it did not get out at the normal time. It just didn't have, I don't want to say didn't have time, didn't get to it in timely enough manner. It was something about the YouTube that has the live version. It has to like completely process it before, and it took like 10 hours before it could be downloaded again and then run through that whole thing that takes out all those gaps and stuff like that. So it didn't get out on Thursday on time due to just me working on other things and not getting to it after that had happened. And I think it got out at like 4:30. So my apologies for a late share, but it was still Thursday. Friday, we had Friday Law Review as always, and this concerned my home state, a Pennsylvania resident who had been stealing a dead man's Social Security benefits for nearly a decade, contrary to fake news that there is no dead Social Security numbers being defrauded. On Saturday, August 2nd now, so yesterday, this was a share. It was basically an explanation of our Congress, who makes the laws governing Social Security, and of course the agency makes the regulations that help promulgate those laws, what kind of legislative process they go through when they can play around with Social Security laws and when they can't. And that's the thing called regular order legislation versus reconciliation legislative process. So that was just a little share on Saturday, because not too long ago we had a bill pass through Congress and get signed by the president that didn't include Social Security in particular at all, like everybody was hoping for. And the reason being it wasn't permitted to under the rules because of the fact that it was reconciliation. So we go into that a little bit of what kind of limitations are on reconciliations, what the benefits are to the person trying to pass a law, and what the limits are. So there you have it, guys. That was our week. Later on today, I am heading out to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where I will work for most of the week. I'm actually there on partially to be close to a hospital where my husband will be going under the knife, and I just wanted to be down there. So I'm going to be working from there, from a hotel when I'm not in the hospital with him. And that way I could be able to work, when he's sleeping and such. But anyway, so a little prayer there would be appreciated if you've got it in you. And I hope everyone has a great upcoming week. I hope you had a great last week, and I hope you had a great weekend and that you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. So if you have any inklings on videos that you would like to see that might be suitable for the general public, like we tend to do, please feel free to share them. You can share them under any post. I have to say I've not been that great about getting to them. Things have been a little busy, but I'm trying. And if you just keep nagging me, it'll eventually get done. So stay with me. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. It's still Sunday. Did you miss last week's Social Security roundup? Not this week that you just heard, but the one prior to that, and want to catch up? I'm attaching it now. Have a great day. Bye. Good morning. Happy Sunday. It is Sunday's Social Security Roundup for the week of June 21st. That was last Monday to yesterday, June 26th. Hope you all had a great week. Hope you all have had a great weekend so far and have a terrific rest of your Sunday. Okay, so on the first, this was a discussion about when a claimant who prevails feels concern about the amount of the fee that the SSA withheld to pay their lawyer. So we go into the reasons for the contingent fee limitations on fees provided by the SSA, and it's part of their rules, the cap, which is 25%, the 25% cap on percentage, and then the flat number cap, which is also there at 9,200, regardless of what the 25% is. So it was brought to my attention because I do hear people, and I had one particular person who was feeling a little resentful about a big fee, feeling like the person won her case so fast. Why do I have to pay him so much? I will say this. Would you rather it take longer? Would you rather an inept person take longer? So just saying, but we go into a lot more than that. If you want to chime in, obviously I have my thoughts on it, and it's going to disagree with the resent position because the actual rules kind of really, for lack of a better word, screw the attorney reps and then the non-attorney reps because it protects the claimants, generally speaking. So we'll go into that if you're interested in that. And on Tuesday, the 22nd, this was my favorite because it was about fibromyalgia, and it was a new court ruling. It doesn't hold a lot of weight in other areas other than this case, even though it was a circuit case, it was unpublished. But it gives you a lot of insight, guys, as to what arguments one could make if they lose a fibromyalgia case, and if they lose the fibromyalgia case and they have to appeal it, and they need to make the arguments after looking to see what the judge perhaps did or didn't do. So I think it can be helpful for everybody. And I loved it because I think fibromyalgia folks are very underappreciated and not treated very well. And I feel that, they've just gotten a short shrift given their impairment because it's really not treated properly, and neither are they. The next day was July 23rd, and this was about a question someone had, the perception that some people have that if I lose my disability claim and they say I'm not disabled, it just means that they're accusing me basically of being dishonest. And that's not really so. And I wanted to explain that because you should never, ever feel that way if you get denied. That's not what it's about. It's really more about the evidence strength, because we can have a reality in our limitations, but if they're not evidenced via medical records, you might have a big problem being able to be found legally disabled because the law requires certain things. And if you don't have them, they cannot award you. So take a look-see there. If that's a frustrating concern of yours, it really has nothing to do with credibility, and nobody thinks anyone's dishonest, except the dishonest people, which are not you guys. Okay, Friday was, of course, that was Wednesday. Thursday, we also had our live stream, 1:00 p.m. Q&A session. And Thursday, the replay of that that's been kind of stripped of all the long-term pauses while I'm reading questions in my head and trying to find part two to a question. Those are all stripped out of it. So if you're only catching the replay, you don't have to sit through those things like everyone did on the live stream. It's a little easier to withstand something like that, I think, on the live stream, not so much on a replay. Okay, and then Friday Fraud Law Review. This particular fraudster was a Chicago fellow indicted for fraudulently obtaining Social Security benefits. And we go through the details of that. It is produced, reported by the Office of Inspector General, and then reported by me. And yet another one of so much more of the fraud that does go on that some people choose to pretend doesn't. And then we have, so that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, yesterday. Okay. This is our last one of the week. It was concerning veterans that are disabled with TDIU, not just P&T, and how even though you could be TDIU, it does not necessarily mean that an SSDI award is a sure thing. And we go into the whys of that. And I know that's frustrating for a lot of veterans, so I just wanted to put it out there, explain it a little bit more. We do this kind of periodically as things arise. So it's not the only video of that nature, but wanted to put it out there because someone had recently asked about it. So, okay. So that's it, guys, for the week of, what do we say, the 21st to the 26th? And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. I will do so as well. And I hope to see you 12 noon for our daily shares here on the channel, and certainly Wednesday live Q&A at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Would love to see you there. Would love to answer your questions. Or if you just want to sit in and perhaps learn a thing or two, you could do that as well. You don't have to participate, but being there would be nice. Thanks, guys. I will talk to you later.